So since working together, now we're at 100K. That's less, I think it's less than 2.5 months, Gary. Where are we currently at, dude?
Um, where are we currently at? Webinar is converting
Nice,
and bringing people to sales calls.
nice.
Off of the back of that, funnily enough, I've got my deals open in Active Campaign because I do love a wee bit of automation. So my ads at the moment are delivering webinar registrations 94, £665, £7, 7 pence for a registration.
N- Nice.
So that's not too bad. We've just added a new audience based off of clients, a custom audience based off of my emails.
So where are we at sales right now? Let's go with that.
Sales off of the back of the webinar, we've got one £1,000 sold. I've got two open for a total of 5 grand. 10 grand actually, which I'm speaking to this week, which I'm pretty confident will close. So we'll be at £700 to make 11,000. Not bad ROI.
It's massive. So, but
Yeah.
total sales closed didn't
One, and then we've got two. I've got two that I'm phoning this week.
Okay, cool. Total revenue since together.
Total revenue since together. When did we start working together? Feels like it's been a lifetime already. Hang on a second. About 4 months.
Nice.
Are we about 4 months? I think.
Less than that, I think.
Less than that. I reckon. Well, total revenue since we started working together was 100K.
Nice.
How that's increased is I can actually tell you, we've sacked off quite a few of the £97 a monthers. So
since working together, now we're at 100K. That's less, I think it's less than 2.5 months, Gary.
is it? Yeah. Yeah.
Go on, you sacked off the 97.
No, we've reduced down the £97 per month and replaced that with 5 grand, which we've effectively got 45 grand of that is guaranteed high ticket webinar sales.
Okay.
And I've been reducing my product line, which we know. I'm looking on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 8 products.
So we've simplified.
Yeah.
Simplify. How do you feel as a back of like simplification? How do you feel now with that?
Oh, so much more clarity. And rather than that, we've just got 3 steps, which is 3, 4 steps: start, grow, increase, scale.
Yeah.
So we're just looking at 4 products, DIY through to done with you, done for you, effectively.
So yeah, I mean, we find, Garrett, a lot of people are out there trying to do too much at one time. When you simplify the process, as you can see, the sales go up much quicker.
Yeah.
And I suppose a lot of people don't get that, like they're trying to do too much all the time, and it's liquidating how they're getting revenue in. And when you actually simplify, focus down, then of course the sales go up. What was the reservation about joining us? Any reservations that you had?
Your program was very similar to the one that I was offering, but it's a completely different niche.
You thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was. That's very true.
You initially thought it was, and then got to know it. Because like
and
again,
then realized actually it's a whole layer deeper in terms of what we do. The thing that I've been doing is I started coaching March 2019, and it's very new to the financial services industry. And I started off at £97 a month. So the reservation for me very much was around pitching something at 5 grand, and would that really happen? So I've done online launches and made 25 grand consistently, very easily through organic social media content. Obviously my 40th birthday was 15 days ago, and we had 44 people apply for a 5 grand product on my first 5 grand product launch, knowing that it was going to be a 5 grand product launch. So we've made 100 grand in obviously the last few months, but I'm pretty sure by the end of this month, we'll close out at 100 grand for the month, because I've just got to finalize those sales calls.
But it is a big difference, Gary, though, when you do see the simplification, then you can see, like, we did work so that you could increase your price, so you knew that you would get it. Like, that's belief transference right there. Most people undercharge, and the problem, if you'd stayed undercharging, you end up overwhelmed, under delivering for your client, and always trying to, like, shit, I'm never going to make it. And then let's do another product.
Which is what I did.
Yeah. So thanks for jumping in on that. What's been the best thing about the support so far?
Access to you, which is what I realistically wanted.
Yeah.
I
Why was that value for you, though, specifically?
Because almost that I need almost counseling to a degree, because I like to speak things out loud, because it helps me process information. So going into a Facebook group, or something where I can't have verbal communication, or where I can WhatsApp a thought and get a WhatsApp back either telling me to politely stop being a twat, or, because you would never say that, that's not you, but that's technically what I take you're saying, which I know is probably coming before I send the WhatsApp. But it just keeps you on the straight and narrow. You're following the yellow brick road rather than going off on a million different tangents, making wrong decisions, and pitching the right products. Like I said to you, I've got a couple of no's, and we brainstormed them out and overcame the objections.
Best thing about Clients Automation so far, as a methodology?
It works, and I always think, and this is something that I teach financial services professionals how to do, and this is where you've kind of helped me. So I have the recipe inside of my head for building a 7-figure financial services firm, and I was creating multiple products in order to be able to help them do the same thing. Whereas actually, Clients on Automation is the recipe for building your coaching business to do what I wanted to achieve with one product: less overwhelm, less frustration, less hassle, because you just put it all into a signature program. So the best thing is actually just being a recipe. If you've got the ingredients, you've got the method, you've got the process, for want of a better word, an idiot just has to follow it.
Like that. Is there anything specifically in the program that has stood out for you individually more so than anything else?
Yes, for me, because I'm an automation freak. I love process and systemization, and I'm a huge process person. So getting access to your HT webinar funnel stuff, and then we've added even more of a layer to that in terms of adding deals, adding in additional steps, all of that kind of stuff. The whole thing just saves you a shitload of time, because you don't have to create it yourself, which is what you realistically want.
So specifically, like me giving me my assets to you, so you don't have to create them, my funnels. Like, we've got some new stuff coming in, which is really exciting.
Yeah, your funnel, webinar templates, your email sequences, your active campaign automations, your sales scripts. You don't need or want for anything realistically. And if you do, then you just go in the Facebook group, for example, all the iOS changes, you just go in the Facebook group and go, Laura, help me. And she records a huge loom and shows you how to do it all again.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a workaround now, which is exciting, because the update for a lot of people is going to cause a lot of problems. But we've got that one sorted now, so that's solid. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you, and appreciate the level that you commit to this, because you're someone that just keeps going, right? And I'm excited to see you grow even bigger. what would you say to someone that was on the edge of making a decision to get support to grow their, like, what's the biggest thing they miss out on if they don't get the right support?
Um, the biggest thing you would miss out on if you don't get the support is, depending on the type of individual that you are, you can be me and take loads of messy action and end up causing yourself a complete headache. Or you can be someone who takes no action because you don't know what next step to take, which costs you both options cost you time, money, and freedom. So the thing to do is, as always, I'm a massive fan of having a coach, having a mentor, technically, of someone who's been there and done it and got the metaphorical t-shirt, living, not, I don't want to say living the life, but having a lifestyle that you want to aspire to based on the business, because a business is an extension of ourselves. And we all want to lie on the floor and look at the stars every day, don't we?
We do. So, but seriously, how much could that cost someone, like, could money wise and time wise, by not having that system in place from your view?
Are huge amounts. Time wise, well, one of the biggest things for me has been, in the space of 2-3 months, I've massively increased my time. For me, actually, not to have anything to do after 2 o'clock on a day at the moment is a rare, it's been, Jesus Christ, so much so that I messaged you going, I've got nothing in my diary. So yeah, it can sap your life, because you often think, and I made the same mistake too when I first went self-employed, you think, and this is probably one of your analogies that you've said, but people think being busy is actually success,
Mm.
or leading you to the path of success. But I've definitely realized, particularly in my coaching business, that actually me only doing the coaching and everything else being done by somebody else is a vital step, whether it be the sales, whether it be the funnels, whether it be the emails. In terms of money, I think it's so easy to make. I didn't, because I've done, I've done training on ads before, but I think people will make huge mistakes when it comes to investing in ads. And even now, I've probably spent, I've spent 4 figures, 5 figures on learning Facebook ads. I've learned another layer of stuff, that even you'll like this. I even showed my ad guys, who've previously worked for some of the largest agencies in the UK, how to just copy and replace the ad and then retarget the people who don't visit the thank you page with the same ad. It's like, oh yeah, it's so simple, but you don't know if you've never been shown. And your video showed me how to do it, and then I showed them how to do it, and we go, oh my God, that's just so easy.
I find that a lot, like, what, I mean, it would have cost you 100 grand this month if you hadn't. But it is a simple approach, like, spent 10 years plus, and I'm always doing updates to it. So yeah, Gary, I appreciate you, man, and let's keep hitting it so we can just scale to the moon.
And back.